the makers of those increasingly popular cigarettes. Sano, the cigarette with far less nicotine. Encore cigarettes that filter the smoke but not the taste present Martin Kane, starring Mark Stevens.
Kane.
Evening, Lieutenant.
Pretty fast. We've only been on this an hour ourselves.
Yes, that's what the real estate agent told me. He wants to get this thing cleaned up in a hurry so he can rent to a new tenant. I told you he didn't need my help. Well, if he wants to spend his money, it's okay.
Well, as a matter of fact, we may not be too long tracking this one.
Have you got a line on the killer?
An eyewitness, if we catch up with him. A young fellow named Davy Corbin, who went from office to office here in the building, shining shoes.
You're a little ahead of me, Lieutenant. I don't even know who was stabbed.
Oh, excuse me, Kane. A man named Teller, in his middle 40s. We found him there, one of the co-tenants in the office. These five were sharing the address, the phone, and the services of a secretary named Lisa Holmes. That is, when she happened to show up. But this afternoon, whoever was there seemed to be concentrating on a small card game. That is, up to the blow-off.
You get any prints?
No, couldn't get a thing, Kane. Bottles, glasses, cards, all smudged.
What about this tractor export routine? Were any one of the five co-tenants actually in that business?
Well, Teller used to sell cheap flash watches. Dover and Jordan seem to be novelty salesmen. And Blair has some kind of a collection business. Connery is a theatrical talent agent. At least that's the current story on what they're doing. However, we're not too sure that Dover isn't mixed up in policy.
Well, you didn't waste any time.
The secretary turned up about 20 minutes ago. She's in there filling in the record. Miss Holmes, would you come in, please? This is Martin Kane, Miss Holmes.
Hello, Miss Holmes.
It's Lisa Holmes. Are you from the newspapers, Mr. Kane?
No, Miss Holmes, I'm not. Are you a secretary?
No, not really. I'm a nightclub singer. That is, I will be when Mr. Connery lines up my bookings.
But you did do secretarial work here, didn't you? Answer the phone, took dictation?
Oh, maybe 2 or 3 afternoons a week.
Uh-huh. Tell me, did your 5 bosses have any kind of fixed schedule?
No.
Then you couldn't say which one of them might have been in here with Teller.
I wish I could help you, Lieutenant, but these characters just drifted in and out of here like seagulls. In maybe for 5 minutes to pick up the mail, and then out again for 5 days. Like Connery and Jordan. They're off in Baltimore right now.
You're, sure of that?
Well, they left a number to call in case any business deals came up.
Uh-huh.
Here.
Oh, thank you. We'll use it. Now, what about this Davy Corbin, the Shoeshine boy? Know anything about his hangouts?
No. Did you try his rooming house?
Yeah, no sign of him there. Do you happen to know any girls he goes with?
Lieutenant, if a kid as shy and jumpy as Davy got himself a girl, I'd like to see her, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Lieutenant, what about the other 2 tenants?
Blair and Dover? Well, they're both headed here now.
On their own?
Well, call it half and half on Dover. He was over at his hotel packing when one of our prowl teams caught up with him.
What about Blair?
Well, he called in to see if there were any messages, and we told him to hop over here. He said he would.
Well, if Mr. Blair makes a date, he'll keep it. You can count on him.
You couldn't say the same thing for Mr. Dover, huh?
Don't put words in my mouth, Mr. Kane. I didn't say anything against Mr. Dover.
I didn't say you did, Miss Holmes.
Lieutenant, you're my witness. I didn't say anything against anybody, and I won't.
All right, Miss Holmes, so you're scared blue of Leo Dover. Want to tell us why?
No, I'm not. There's nothing to tell. He's just one of the tenants here, that's all.
No, Mr. Kane, it's just as I told the lieutenant. I have nothing to say against Leo Dover. Mr. Blair, both you and Miss Holmes have been very careful to get that on the record. Why?
You don't know Dover, do you?
No, I don't. Well, he's the kind of a man you start talking about. All of a sudden, he's there. Not doing anything, you understand, but just sort of looking at you. You know what I mean.
Hi, Dan.
Oh. Leo, how are you, Mr. Dover?
Just heard about Teller. Tough. Okay if I chip in on the flowers?
Lieutenant Gray. Yeah? Yeah. So the girl ducked into Corbin's room to pick up his radio and stuff, huh? That's good going. Hold her there. We'll be right over. Miss Fargo, you've admitted that Davy Corbin phoned you and asked you to pick these up for him.
That's right. I didn't go into his room to steal anything.
Mm-hmm. Now then, he just didn't ask you to pick these things up to throw them in the street. Where were you supposed to bring them? You say you're a chambermaid over at the Hotel Trevor? Is that where Corbin is waiting for you?
I'm sorry, Lieutenant. I don't know Davy very well. I'm just the one he happened to get when he phoned here. But I promised him I wouldn't tell anybody where he was.
Molly, a man's been murdered.
Molly ought to know that Davy couldn't raise his hand against a soul. She don't have to cover up for him.
Mrs. Kelsey, you know Davy pretty well, huh?
Well, he's roomed here for 2 years ever since he came back from the hospital.
The hospital?
Well, that only goes to show you. Nobody remembers. 2 hoodlums tried to mug an old fellow who roomed here. Davy lived next door, then and he came in to help him. Oh, he got beaten to a pulp. He's not been normal since. He's far too scared to stand up to anyone, let alone take a knife to them.
Lieutenant?
Yeah?
I think Mrs. Kelsey here might be able to help you with Molly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to give him away.
Molly, the police are not going to hurt Davy. But if he gets scared enough, He'll do harm to himself.
Mrs. Kelsey, you don't think Davy...
Well, now, you heard him yourself. How do you know what he'll do when he gets where he can't run anymore? These men can help him, no matter what he's done. Marley, he's over at the hotel or somewhere near now, isn't he?
Davy? What's blocking the door?
Molly, who's with you?
Davy, it's all right. The police don't say you did anything. They don't want to arrest you. Davy? Davy?
All right, Corbin, open up in there. No one's going to hurt you.
Go ahead, Molly. Leave the stairs. Go.
Yes, wait.
Huh?
You must have Julia's keys. The other maid on these 3 floors. She's off duty now, and her keys ought to be here.
Oh, then you think that he has all her keys, huh?
Yes, to all the rooms on this floor, the one down below, and the next one up, the 18th floor.
I'll start upstairs and work down toward you.
Okay, but go easy if you come up with him.
Davy, nobody's going to hurt you. Lieutenant Gray just wants to ask you a few questions.
They're not gonna get me. No one's gonna get me.
Davy, come back here.
I told you no one's gonna get me.
Davy, listen to me. Davy, wait, wait! Well, good evening, Mr. Benton. Can I help you, sir?
I certainly hope so. A couple of my friends have been trying to tell me that Sano cigarettes have less nicotine than any other leading cigarette. Oh, I'd like to believe that. But all cigarettes these days are making that kind of claim.
Well, now tell me, Mr. Benton, have you ever tried a Sano?
Why, no, frankly, I haven't.
Well, here, you have one on me, and we'll smoke out this nicotine problem.
Thank you.
First off, I'm sure you'll agree it takes fine tobaccos to make a good cigarette. And Sano cigarettes give you the finest tobaccos money can buy. It also takes skillful blending, and you get that with Sanos, too. But the makers of Sano cigarettes do one thing more to make you completely satisfied with your smoking. They remove nicotine from the tobacco itself before the cigarettes are even made. And that's why it's no mere claim, but straight fact, that there's less nicotine in Sano smoke than in the smoke of any other leading cigarette. Now, I bet I know what you're wondering. Couldn't you see that difference if you blew smoke from Sano and other cigarettes through a handkerchief? Well, the answer is no. That's a mistaken idea a lot of folks have. But you see, nicotine is colorless. You can't see it. Stains like that are the result of natural combustion, not nicotine at all. But more and more of my customers who switch to Sano cigarettes tell me that Sanos with less nicotine are more enjoyable, that they smoke them with more contentment, puff after puff.
Well, that certainly makes sense. And I'll say the puffs I've had on this Sano sure satisfy my taste. Let me have a couple of packs of Sano cigarettes.
Right you are, Mr. Benton. You know, for good sense and good taste, you just can't beat Sano cigarettes. There you are, sir. Your Sanos and your change. Thanks very much.
Not at all, thank you.
Davy, come back here. You get back in. Get back in or I'll jump right now.
Davy, listen to me.
Who are you anyway?
My name's Kane.
You're with the police.
Davy, I'm working with them for you.
I didn't kill Teller if that's what you think.
Nobody thinks that, Davy. But you did see who did it, didn't you?
There, I saw him.
Davy, if you'll just give us an idea who it is.
I think I'd take a chance telling you. You know, if I told anybody, get me.
Davy, who's he? Davy, if you'll tell us, we'll put him under wraps. He won't be able to get anybody anymore.
I wouldn't get him. He'd find out and kill me first.
Davy, look,
you were real brave once. You stopped those two muggers from beating up that old man. Do you remember? I was a hero that time, wasn't I? Then they hit me. Hit me and kept on hitting me. Nobody's going to hit you this time, Davy. No. Because I'm going to drop down and hit just once. Once and for all. Davy. Davy, tell us his name. I'm no good, I know that. And the nerve I got straight to the cops after I got away from him. The more I thought about that night, the way he looked at me. No, I know what to do now. I should have done a long time ago.
Davy, it's Molly. Please listen to Mr. Kane.
You keep away, Molly. You told him where I was.
They'd have found you anyway, Davy. They want to help you. We all do.
Just keep away, all of you. When I get ready, I'm going to jump and nobody's going to stop me. Davy, take it easy. Keep talking to him, Molly. I'm not listening. I'm warning you.
Does that ledge run all around the building?
No, it breaks off the window. It's heads or tails when you let go.
Yeah, I sent for the fire department, but I'm afraid we're up too far to have much of a chance with a net.
It's the killer he's afraid of. If you get him in here, you could untangle him, I'm sure. How are you making out with Dover?
Oh, some headway, but not too much.
Did you pick him up yet?
No.
He said where he'd been this afternoon.
Bowling and shooting pool, but very vague on the times.
What about Blair?
Well, he said he was out making collections. 4 dry runs, so we can't check it.
Connery and Jordan, the other two tenants?
Yeah, they're in Baltimore, all right. Have been since last night.
Well, it's got to be Blair or Jordan or some outsider then.
Right. Whichever one happens to own a pair of shoes stained from this bottle. Davy dropped this in the office when he let out, and I'm betting that the killer stepped in it and crushed it on his way out.
Oxblood stain.
Right.
Did you check Dover's shoes?
We checked all he said he has and all Blair said he had. 2 pairs for Dover and 3 for Blair. But they're all clean.
Think they might have thrown a pair away?
I don't know, but I've got sanitation checking all trash collections within an 8-block area and beat men on all sewers and empty lots.
Davy, listen. Lieutenant Gray just about got the killer wrapped up. Why don't you come inside until we get him run down? We'll clear out in the meantime.
It's just a trick. He wasn't anywhere near getting the killer.
Davy, please. Mr. Kane, you and Lieutenant Gray go do what you have to do. Davy isn't coming in just yet, but we'll be all right for a while.
All right. Take care. I'll be back soon.
You go too, Molly. I want to be alone when I do it.
Alone? You picked a fine spot for that. There must be 1,000 people down there looking at you, Davy. Come in now, Davy, please. For me.
Mr. Blair, were any of you 5 co-tenants actually in the tractor export business?
Well, I guess if you really wanted to buy a tractor, any one of us would have been glad to help you look for one.
I see. Well, if I want to buy a pair of second-hand roller skates, huh?
Or a pair of second-hand roller skates.
What about a pair of second-hand shoes?
What do you mean, second-hand shoes?
You and Dover both live within 5 blocks of this apartment. Where would you get rid of a pair of old shoes if you wanted to do that, Mr. Blair?
Lieutenant Gray looked at my shoes. What have they got to do with this?
Dover only owns 2 pair. That's not much for a sharp dresser, is it?
Look, Mr. Kane, anything I can do to help you and the lieutenant, I said I'd be glad to. But don't ask me to help guess up a case against Leo Dover.
Mr. Dover said that he was shooting pool and bowling this afternoon. Have you got any idea where he'd do that?
Next avenue over, there's a couple of alleys and 3 pool rooms within 4 blocks.
Can you put any closer for me than that?
Not if Leo couldn't.
I see. Okay. Thanks, Mr. Blair.
Dr. Esther Kane, the house physician. Hello, Doctor.
Mr. Kane?
That kid's liable to break any time. If he gets a sudden jolt or a scare, that'll be it.
We know that, Mr. Kane, but we're getting to the time where we'll have to take increased chances. Corbin's been out there better than 8 hours. I'm afraid he's driving himself to some kind of a decision. Weakened as he is, he can't last much longer.
Sergeant Brophy.
Lieutenant Gray?
No, someone else. They wouldn't give their name.
Hello, Kane talking. Who's this?
If I wanted anyone to know, I'd be talking to police. Listen. How would you like to recover a pair of shoes Leo Dover tried to get rid of?
Anything interesting about them?
Interesting enough. Oxblood stain on arch and looks like bits of crushed glass on the sole.
Okay. I'm interested. Where are they?
You know the Staten Island ferry station on Island Side?
Yeah, I know it.
Look up lockbox TR82. You'll find key rolled up in newspaper on top of locker in the back. And don't try to call local police or...
Hello, I'm Fred Utel. Smoking a filter cigarette and enjoying it. Now, I say that quite pointedly because so many people I know who have switched to filter cigarettes have assumed that they must do without the taste satisfaction that makes smoking so enjoyable. Well, please believe me, that just isn't so. And let's throw some light on the subject. If you want a filter cigarette that lets you taste what you're smoking, get Encore, the one filter cigarette that gives you both an effective filtering action and complete taste satisfaction. Now, the secret of this unique advantage can be found in Encore's own open-end filter mouthpiece. It draws so freely and easily. It filters the smoke, but not the taste. Yes, Encore filters the smoke, but not the taste. And because the filter element is set deep within the mouthpiece where it cannot touch your lips, you enjoy a neater, cleaner smoke as well. So for real taste satisfaction, get Encore cigarettes in this handsome crush-proof case. And I'm sure you'll agree, Encore is the one filter cigarette that filters the smoke, but not the taste.
Sure you won't try some hot soup, Davy? Forget the crowd down there, Davy. Please come inside.
Be taken care of by the killer instead.
They're gonna catch him. Mr. Kane went out an important lead about 20 minutes ago, and Lieutenant Gray's almost ready to make the arrest.
How long has it been? 8, 9 hours? They aren't even close to getting the killer. Molly, you get back in. There's no need for you to see this.
Oh, no, Davy. You've got to listen to me.
Okay. Well, what brings you here, Mr. Blair?
Oh, I thought Mr. Kane would be here. He phoned me a few minutes ago and asked me to come over.
Oh, Kane's headed for Staten Island. He may not be back for an hour or so.
Did he fix it up with you for me to have my try?
Or try it what?
Well, that poor kid out there. We figured that maybe a few minutes together might do it.
Well, what makes you think that you can get him to come in?
Well, Davy knows me, for one thing. You're all strangers. You've got them all tangled up.
Well, Molly's no stranger to him.
Well, Davy's always been edgy with girls. You know, he might jump just to show her how tough he is.
The man has a point, Lieutenant.
Tell me, was this Kane's idea or yours?
Well, it was Kane's idea to start with. I didn't go along at first, but then I figured I might have a better chance than anybody to do it. I've always gotten along well with the kid.
I guess we'll wait for Kane to get back, Blair.
We're not getting anywhere going on as we are, Lieutenant. If there's even an outside chance this man can help, I say let's take it.
Let me have just 3 minutes alone with him, Lieutenant.
To do exactly what? Well, offer him a good job, for one thing. And let him know that you people have just about grabbed the killer, but mostly I just like to ramble on and let him know what a grandstand play he's making. So if it's all right, and if you'll all just clear out...
We're not leaving anyone in here alone with him.
Oh. Well, if you'll all just step to the other side of the room so that Davy won't think we're all leaning in on him.
I'd do it. This late, we don't have much choice.
All right, Blair. We'll let you take Molly's place for a few minutes. But remember, take it easy. And if it looks like you're disturbing the kid, pull back and let Molly take over again. And no sudden grabs. Old friend of yours here, Davy. He wants to say hello. Evening, Davy. You can let go now, any time. You don't want any more trouble, do you, Davy? More torment? More having to make up your mind? It's easy, Davy. Nothing to it. All you've got to do is close your eyes and go, Davy. Go. Blair. Go. Blair. You sure of him, Kane?
Yes, Davy will nail him when he comes in. Blair had me halfway to Staten Island before I realized that there were only two people who knew that the killer stepped in oxblood stain. One of them's out on that ledge. It was the killer who phoned me.
And tried to frame Dover.
Let go, Davy, let go!
Davy, listen to me. Lieutenant Gray's got Blair under wraps now, Davy.
You know that they killed Teller?
Sure. That's why I came over here to try to scare you into jumping, Davy. You're our case against him. It's all right now, Davy. We got him. How about coming in now, Davy? Fooling that crowd down there, huh?
Tune in at the same time next week when the makers of Encore cigarettes and Sano cigarettes will present Martin Kane, starring Mark Stevens.
What kind of pipe do you prefer? Corncob, briar, meerschaum? Whichever one is your choice, you'll enjoy smoking it more with Old Briar, the master mixture of rare flavor and aroma. Make your pipe dreams come true. Get a pouch of Old Briar tomorrow.
Friends, the sale of Easter seals helps establish care and treatment centers for crippled children. It also provides them with special schooling, summer health camps, and sheltered workshops, and vocational aid. Make your contribution wherever and whenever you see this blue coin box in restaurants or stores, and help the crippled children in your community. Will you do that? Thanks a lot. Good night, and we'll see you next week.